Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Just 2019 World Indoor Bowls Championships live here at Potter's Leisure Resort. We've got some interesting games coming up for you today, starting up with some of the overseas round-robin qualifier games. First feature is from Canada, Malcolm White, and he's playing from Hong Kong, Geordie Lowe. Great games all for the rest of the day as well. Stick with us if you can. We're live with every bowl that's sent, and here's your order of play. I can say after the 10 o'clock game with Canada versus Hong Kong, we then have at 11 o'clock, 11:30ish, Dan Lemessurier from the USA plays against England's Andy Squires. Then the big games this afternoon. 2 o'clock, Robert Paxton and Michael Stepney play Mark Royal and Andy Thompson MBE in the World Pairs. And following that, the world number one takes to the stage here at Potters. Greg Harlow and Nicky Brett take on the Australian qualifiers Dave Rankin and Kyle McElroy. Umpires and markers for this game, well, you've got the marker out on the rink will be Dan Blewett, the umpire Neil Bryce. And we now hand over to Richard Baird, live on the rink, to introduce our players.
Well, a very warm good morning to you all. Welcome to the International Arena here at Potters Resort on Hopton-on-Sea for this, the 2019 Just World Indoor Singles Championships. Our first match this morning is a preliminary playoff match. So let's get the boys onto the rink. And first to our qualifiers come all the way from Canada to be with us today, although his father is Scottish. 3 times a North American Challenge champion. Ladies and gentlemen, will you please welcome Malcolm White. Right, Malcolm. Good luck and enjoy. Thank you. And Malcolm takes on another qualifier, this time from Hong Kong, a former Hong Kong International Gold Singles champion. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Jody Lloyd. And your commentator for this match is Janice Gower. Over to you, Janice. Good morning.
Good morning, Richard, and thank you so much for that introduction. And looking forward to these games this morning. Slight difference for those of you that follow the rules of the Indoor World Bowls Tour Championships, where we play 2 sets and then possibly a tie-break. These games are played in a round robin, and the winner goes into the main draw. So this is one of the round robin games. So these guys are playing 2 sets of 7 ends. They have to complete every end in play, so a set can't be declared, because at the end of the round-robin playoffs, shot difference can count. So it's going to be interesting this morning. First game out on the portable for these 2 guys, but lots of trophies and awards in the back pockets here, particularly Geordie Lowe. He's won a lot of things out in Hong Kong, represents Hong Kong. Pairs champion, 4s champion, bowler of the year out there, and genuinely gentleman of the game is Geordie. And as Richard mentioned, Malcolm White's actually father's from Scotland, but representing Canada here. And as mentioned earlier, the next game after this is Dan Lemessurier, who's representing the USA, versus Andy Squire from England. He came through the World Indoor Bowls Council Championships slot. The winner of that World Indoor Bowls Council Championship was actually Stuart Anderson. But as Stuart's already in the main draw, The runner-up is invited, and that's Andy Squires.
Three green.
Good start here for Geordie. Looks like quite a confident player. It's not really what you want to do, is drop a big count on the first end.
Two shots, Geordie low.
Well, it might not have escaped your notice that the marker actually out on the rink is Neil Bryce. The umpire is Dan Blewett. Obviously, a few technical gremlins on the information stages this morning. I'm not surprised. It was the annual WBT Awards last night, so there's a few sleepy heads out there this morning. But quite interesting to notice that there's a lot of people making their way in, having had their breakfast to watch this game. I'm delighted to be joined in commentary by Francis Fletcher, one of our match officials. One of the ones that did look bright-eyed this morning, Francis. I think you and I both, eh?
Jack length 29.5 metres.
The winner of these round-robin singles stages gets to face the challenge of playing against Nick Brett next Wednesday. That'll be an interesting game, but it's the prize really for getting through these round-robin stages. I was just explaining, Francis, that they have to play all 7 ends in this, as it's part of a round-robin, so shots difference could actually count, couldn't it?
Three green.
Certainly Geordie's settled down on the rink very well. Both had the opportunity to have practice sessions out there. But nerves can come into play as well. Yes, it certainly is. Geordie's just trotting up after this bowl. Not in a bad place at all, because of course the most important thing here is to win the game. Shots count as well, but there was a bit of danger at the back there if Malcolm went for the jack, which is what he's doing. Neil will just wait for Malcolm to reach the head to declare how many shots.
3 shots, Geordie low.
3 shots to Geordie Low. Yes, the next game up will be quite interesting because down
Set
the
score
measure
0-5
is
after 2
actually,
ends.
for those of you astute viewers that will have seen the original draw, wasn't actually in the singles draw, and it should have been Charlie, shouldn't it? He should have, but unfortunately Charlie couldn't make it over. He's fortunately not very well,
Jack
so
length
couldn't make it
29.5
over. And
metres.
out of the interest to the viewers is then it's always the runner-up that is invited, and as it happens, in the final of the USA qualifier, Charlie actually beat Dan to qualify, and Dan was here representing USA in the pairs, so he stepped up to the plate, and I believe they're going to ship in the table standing to us, Francis, as soon as it's available this morning, but I believe Dan is actually top of that table at the moment.
Wouldn't surprise me, because he did qualify to play in the Scottish International last November, so clearly he's got some points on the ranking.
Yes, and he's had a bit of experience out there because, of course, he played at the Scottish International Open back in November. Well, he would say he went out on the rink in November, I think. He played against Nick Brett, and it wasn't Dan's finest hour, and I'm sure he won't mind me saying that. So he said he can't get any worse on the portable rink, so anything now is an improvement. Dan actually won the Overseas Qualifier of the Year award last night at the World Bowls Tour Awards and was totally shocked, and then because he's an ultimate professional, realised he then couldn't celebrate apart from with a non-alcoholic beverage, because he's out there this morning.
Yes, and speaking of awards winners, we should not be a shrinking violet, should we, Janice?
I've just had from our production team that I need to apologise to the viewers, because some viewers out there this morning might have thought that I was talking to myself, because the production team didn't realise I had a co-commentator, so I hadn't turned your microphone up, Francis.
Oh.
So yes, Francis Fletcher is with me this morning, and he did say, but you might not have heard him say so, if anybody has any questions on rules, please do send them to us. I'm now trying to think back what important things you've said in the last few ends. Oh, we were explaining about the round robins.
That would be a very short summary. I think we covered the preliminary stages of the singles here, where all 7 ends have to be played. It's still 2 sets of 7 ends. However, you'll notice just by the World Bowls logo at the back there, the shot clock is not in operation. That does not function for these preliminaries. However, there are conditions of play which cover visits to the head. The players are still entitled to ask the marker if they can approach the head prior to playing their 3rd bowl, but in most respects the answer would be no.
Well, a better end here from Malcolm, so just looking to reach the jack. A little touch on it would perhaps bring another shot in.
Not quite going to make home. Good effort though.
1 shot, Malcolm White.
Yeah, that was certainly a better end from Malcolm White there.
Best score 1-5 after 3 ends.
And do also let us know where you're viewing from. Obviously, we'll have a few Canadian and Hong Kong representatives tuning in. I don't even want to think about what the world clock would be as to what time. When I walked up from my bungalow this morning, Francis, I ended up going out live to Australia for a short while because the Australian pairing was sat on a bench,
25 metres.
Facebook timing their friends back in Australia, and all of a sudden I got dragged over to be introduced to everybody. So I'm sure we'll have a few tuning in from Australia this afternoon because humdinger of a game, second game on. World number 1 Greg Harlow and Nick Brett play Dave Rankin and Kyle McElroy. It's the second game on this afternoon. We start again at 2, but we've got 2 games here for you this morning. A feast of bowls here at Potter's Leisure Resort. Better bowl there from Malcolm. Really settled in now, Francis.
Yes, it takes a while, and at 5-1 in the middle of the first set, you just need to be putting some shots on the board. As far as time goes, Hong Kong is around dinner time, 6 p.m. in the evening, and Canada, they'll be having a very early breakfast if they're tuning into this.
So we might have some viewers then from Hong Kong live with us.
Yeah, I think you've got more chance of the viewers being there for this game than Geordie's next game, but followers of bowls can be very dedicated, and I'm sure if there's friends and family back there, they'll be watching no matter what the time.
Very smooth delivery there from Geordie Lowe. Just overplayed.
2 red.
Malcolm's won various events over in Canada, and he also qualified for the pairs playoffs here back in 2013.
13, yes.
Yeah. So he has experienced Potters, but not been actually out on the portable rink.
I think with the slight change in the scheduling this year, it's good that the qualifiers get to play on the portable rink, as opposed to qualifying on the bowler's bar and then possibly only having one game. It's a great effort to get here in the first place, and playing on a portable must surely be their aim in the first place.
Yes, in previous years we haven't had many games on the Sunday. We've just had a couple of the pairs games on, but it's nice to see a nice crowd in as well, Francis. It's
Yes.
good to see a decent crowd in to watch these qualifiers. They deserve their places here, qualified through the PBA systems in their countries, so thoroughly deserve the experience of playing in front of the crowd. And like you say, whichever of them then goes on to win this group and have to take on Nick Brett, who is a very experienced player out there, at least they'll have experienced the stadium.
Indeed, it's by the time that game's played on Wednesday, the arena is going to be really full. So experiencing the environment and the atmosphere here in the first couple of games is going to be an advantage to the qualifiers. But they've got a tough job, whoever gets through. Good saver from Geordie.
Information through that we've
One
got
shot,
viewers
Malcolm
in
White.
Portugal, Australia and Hong Kong as we thought we might have. Well, thank you so much for joining us
Set
here.
score
It's
2-5 after 4 ends.
about 10:18 with GMT time here at Potter's Leisure Resort for this singles game for the overseas qualifiers.
Don't often see jacks going out there.
No, well, I play a bit of Crown Green, or used to in the past, as did your good self, and that was what we would call a finger peg jack. Because the jacks on the crown are actually got a bias in them, as have the bowls. But yeah, normally it might have been a little bit of nerves there, Francis, just creeping in. Oh wow, that just hung on.
Jack length 28 metres.
Neil Bryce there, marker, just hesitated, waited till it stopped. You'll often see that the markers will actually set the jack on the tee if it's just even slightly running past the tee, but never if it's got the option of possibly going in the ditch, Francis.
We're fair judges of the pace of the jack as it crosses the tee, and you'll quite often see us picking it up even though it's still in motion. But if it passes with a rate of knots on it approaching the ditch, just stand back and wait.
Good line there again from Malcolm.
He really needs to win these 3 ends. Interesting grip. It's neither cradle nor claw. It's a bit of a hybrid grip, and I suspect that's the reason the jack wasn't cast in a centre line direction.
His stance on the mat is a very outdoor stance.
Very.
Of course, a lot of our overseas qualifiers, the qualifying games are actually played outdoors.
Yeah.
Because they don't have indoor facilities, or they have very few indoor facilities. And Canada is one of those places in question. The USA is as well, but their outdoor rink that they qualified on was an artificial rink, so that kind of helps when they swap to these indoor surfaces. But yeah, that's a very outdoor delivery for me.
Lots of moving parts and forward momentum as well, whereas if you notice, Geordie is fairly set in his delivery, and it's just a smooth short swing of the arm.
Very smooth delivery this of Geordie Low.
Short step, minimum movement.
Less to go wrong, they would say. A lot of coaches, I always say, try and eliminate things that could go wrong. Just overplayed this.
1 red.
Decent line with it though. Well, again, looks a decent track from Malcolm.
Two red.
Well, chance to really get into this set now if you could pick up these 2 shots. Might just have overplayed this again.
Past the target.
This means we're playing in 5, right?
You're playing in 5.
Okay. Got you.
2 shots, Malcolm White.
Well, he's reduced the
Set score
deficit.
4-5 after 5
All to
ends.
play for now.
Nice bit of assistance to the players there from our marker, Neil Bryce. First time, obviously, Malcolm's played out on the portable rink, and he was just checking what end was in play. Looked at the scoreboard. Scoreboard actually says N6 now in play. But he was just making sure, Francis, and that was good. It was good to see, and Neil was very quick with his response. You don't want to get yourself confused out there.
Close to the line again.
Now, is that jack within the
Jack length
confines of
28
the rink?
metres.
Yes, it is. We do have 3 officials out there for every game here. I think Dominic Simcoe's the third official out there, just to be that extra pair of eyes out on the rink, and also to help if a measure needs stringing. That's if a bowl or a jack goes out the side confines of the rink. I've not seen Alan Thornhill this morning though, Francis, but after his award for 20 years service to the World Bowls Tour, he got a special award. Himself and Mike Davies have both done 20 years.
Hard to believe that Alan's done 20 years because he doesn't look old enough. I'm not sure if everybody's aware that certain awards are presented throughout the evening, but having mentioned awards, the one for Dan Le Mesurier has been covered.
One red.
Alan Thornhill's been covered, and I have a very worthy recipient sitting next to me, Janice.
Yes, it was a bit of a shock to my system last
So
night,
it
Francis.
should be.
I was not expecting that at all.
Recognition by your peers is immensely valuable, especially for the work that goes on that's never seen. And I didn't know half of what was mentioned in the speech which was made prior to your presentation, but
One red.
by the sound of it, richly deserved, so well done.
Thank you. It was the Services to Bowls Award for the work done with disabled athletes over the years, both wheelchair and more recent years I've worked with the learning disabilities side of the game. It was a bit humbling last night. I only do it for the smiles on their faces, and I still will always say that, to see the smiles on the faces, and it's a very humbling experience. You've yourself worked with less abled players, Francis, and they get so much out of the game. It's a game that everybody can play, any age, any ability, any disability.
There's lots of events go on which, if they were coordinated, it would just be a massive event. So you've mentioned Special Olympics. There's the Vibe for the visually impaired, and I did have the privilege last year of umpiring the transplant games as well. So anybody that's had any organ transplant,
One red.
whether they played bowls or not, there was about 6 or 8 sports involved, based in Birmingham, University of Birmingham. There was some archery, there was some table tennis, and there was a full day of bowls. And whether they were bowlers or not, they just all had a go at it. Some obviously played, some had never played before. Thoroughly enjoyed it, and it's just an immense privilege to be part of one of the few sports that is all-encompassing.
One red.
Yeah, I think that's the big thing about bowls all over the world. It is anybody can play the sport. It's just having the facility to be able to play it, and sometimes with people that are either disabled or have different issues or problems, it takes people like us to give them that facility to be able to bowl, and that's what we
One
like
shot.
to do.
Malcolm White.
Well, this is all square going into the
Yes.
last end of this set, which having Geordie Lowe won the
Score
first
5-5
two
after
ends,
6 ends.
Malcolm White's come on to a very good game. There's a nice view in the audience, and this well, it's travelling a bit. Let's put it that way. The jack is travelling a bit. Watch your ankles, Neil. He knew though, as soon as he let it go, Malcolm put his hand up in the air and he knew. It's interesting though, Francis, because it's something that we don't practice that often on the portable rink. When we have our half-hour practice slots,
Yep.
you just tend to you have a jack at every end, and you just put it to a certain length that you want to play to.
Yeah.
You don't actually practice casting the jack.
And really, it should be something that is practiced, because it's the object of the game. Control of the jack, placing it or casting
Wow.
it to where you
29
want it
And
meters.
that just
is crucial.
hung on. Apparently we're getting a few questions in from viewers, Francis, about the bowls
Okay.
that are being used, because obviously they're overseas players, so you might be playing with pool bowls out there.
Yeah, there are a number of sets of bowls. I think about 40 sets available by various manufacturers, various weights and sizes in both red and green. And they're more than welcome to practice with them and choose which set they would like to play with. I think I'm correct in saying that Malcolm has had his own bowls shipped in just for this event.
Oh right, that's interesting to know. I didn't know that, but it's very, very possible, because I do know that the Americans, they've brought their own bowls over. It cost a few pennies to do so, but they felt they were more comfortable with their own bowls. I know the Australian duo that are playing this afternoon, they struggled when they first arrived because none of the pool bowls are gripless, and in Australia they mainly play with bowls without a grip.
Yeah.
If we get a close-up of the bowls in a bit, we might just see. I think Malcolm's haven't got a grip on them.
And that's the reason that they've been shipped in. So I understand they're a size 5, which is quite large for the event. Most players will play with a 3 or 4. But they are size 5 and gripless, so that's why we were talking about them, and I believe they were shipped in specially for him for this event. There we are.
There you go.
Taylor Ace, size 5, gripless.
And the Tiger Evos that Geordie Lowe's playing with are definitely from the pool. I
Yes.
saw him walk past me on his way to the rink with the box. But yeah, it's quite interesting. It's question comes up several times about the overseas, whether you pay to have your own bowls brought over. Often
2 red.
the model of bowl overseas doesn't suit the indoor surfaces here in England, so people rely on the pool bowls. But if you do like to play with a gripless bowl, one of the top ranked players, just outside the top 16, Gary R. Smith from Durham, he plays with ungripped bowls, and he always has to bring his own.
2 red.
It's a strange contrast, because I've played with 3 or 4 sets of bowls throughout the time I've been playing. All have had grips, and yet none of my digits ever go anywhere near the grips. It's just something that I do. All of my fingers and thumb are on the running surface, never touch the grips.
And yet I use a cradle grip, as was my old Crown Green grip, and the grip's very important to me. Different people have different thoughts on this. We had a few questions yesterday about the running line, and that can all depend on your delivery. So we just said Geordie Lowe's got a lovely smooth delivery. Malcolm has a little bit of a wobble on initial release of bolt.
I think Malcolm's going to pinch this set, you know.
Can it swing back in time? It sits.
Don't think so.
It's an important bowl, is this? Who's shot? Might be worth calling on the umpire. No, 1 declared. Actually looking for 2.
Well, yes, shots are important. They do count in this round robin. So had this been a knockout singles, 1 shot would have taken the set, and that would have been it. But oh well, just happy with the 1 shot then.
1
First
shot in the
set's
first set, Malcolm White.
Not bad from the 5-1 deficit.
Well, like I say, first 2 ends, and I was thinking that Geordie Lowe was going to walk away with that first set, but the set has finished 6-5 to Malcolm White, and we move into set 2. Don't forget, we just played 2 sets of 7 ends here. There is no tie break. It's still very important that Geordie wins this second set to give himself a chance
Jack
in the
length,
group.
29.5 metres.
But we don't play a tie break because they have to play every one of the ends and they have to play every game within the group. Good opener there. Better here again from Malcolm.
One green.
Well, this is turning out into a really good end of bowls.
Chance just to tuck the jack away. Slipping past is good as well. He's got a line. He's got a line. Good bowl.
Red ball is 1 inch short of jack high.
Very good height.
One green.
Needs to run, Geordie. Just given up. And Malcolm's trotting back down to the mat as if he's under shot clock. Don't need to rush, Malcolm.
One shot, Geordie low.
Well, opening end of this second set to the Hong Kong qualifier.
Jack length, 26 metres.
As part of the awards ceremony last night, there was also a full Potters Theatre Company show, which was excellent. Everything that's done here at this venue is the highest quality.
Yes, it's a really slick performance, and I think along the lines of many other shows I've seen in theatres and concerts, if the time passes quickly, you know it's a good show.
Better height here. Still swooped under. Looks to still be running fairly swiftly out there, Francis.
Two green.
Not been out there for a couple of days myself. Obviously, we've been very, very busy here in the World Bowls Tour commentary position. But, I've got a practice session booked after the next game, so I'll be interested to see if it has slowed down. When the surface was first put down on Wednesday, it was running about 20 seconds, which is very, very quick for an indoor surface.
I've just put a rough stopwatch on Geordie's last bowl, which went pretty much to 27 metres, and it's shade under 18 seconds at the moment. Not a very scientific approach, but it gives an idea of the pace of the green.
A nice little rub off the green bowl.
One red.
Oh, little runner coming along. Close.
In the area.
Only lips. Ooh.
Oh, he was very unlucky there.
Half an inch was all it needed.
Very close. Worth it as well, because if he'd have got it away, I think he had 3 seconds there. Might just not make it back to centre. Really hung off. It'll be interesting to see what...
One shot. Malcolm White.
There was a slight wobble on that bowl there as it came up, and that will just hold the line,
Set score
reduces
1-1
the
after
effect of
2
the
ends.
bias. Malcolm's quite businesslike.
Yeah. The first 2 ends, I thought, oh, it's not looking too good, but he's really settled after the first 2 ends. Perhaps it was just that fact of first time in the stadium.
Jack length 28 metres.
Of course, whoever wins the round robin group, when they do play Nick on Wednesday, the shot clock will be in operation. So that's something else they'll need to think about as the time approaches.
I think a lot of players, Francis, try and play as if they've got the shot clock in operation all the time in the head, and just try and make sure you're back at the mat. Try and think of at what pace you have to walk the 27 or 28 metres to get back to the mat.
And something they can do at home on their own local greens is to time their own delivery. So from the approach, the set, to releasing the bowl, how many seconds does it take? Some of the top 16 seeds, it's difficult to actually start the shot clock while they're playing. They're so fast on the mat. As soon as the previous bowl comes to rest, the other one's away. But when they're looking to just see what's what at the head, they know if they get back to the mat with, say, 8 seconds left, they can get the ball away. Some will take 8 to 10 seconds, some 3 or 4 seconds, but if you know how long your delivery takes, that's a huge benefit when the shot clock's operating. Good ball coming in.
1 green.
Might we see Malcolm attacking this? Might be thinking about it. And the close bowl first then.
Trotting up after this in singles play without the shot clock. He's allowed to come to the head after his third bowl. Has to ask if he wants to have a look after any other bowl, but his third bowl, and you normally find most of the top players will always come up after the third bowl to have a look.
That's a good bowl there. Well, probably the better part of a
Two
yard
green.
for second. I think he's got to try and draw close to this.
Yeah, something just in the area.
Far too much room for Geordie to draw third. Well,
Going swift, this is unusual.
that needs to hit. It needs to hit.
Obviously confident with his running bowl, but
I'm not sure that was a wise choice.
2 green.
Yard for third then. Yeah.
good ball coming up.
3 shots, Geordie low.
Set score 1-4 after 3 ends.
Well, the jack stayed on this time in this direction. This always seems to be the
Jack
direction
length
where
26.5
it's
metres.
that little bit quicker. Not a bad opener.
I think this is a pivotal end now in this set. If Geordie extends, we could well be seeing a 1-1 result. So Malcolm needs to win the end just to stay in the hunt.
Good height again.
I think they both acquitted themselves quite well. There's a couple of loose ends.
Don't forget, if you've got any questions you'd like to ask, well, I've got Francis with me. He has to hot foot it straight as soon as this game finishes, because he's one of the officials out there for the second game. Do let us know any questions you have. We'll try and answer
1
them
green.
for you. And also let us know where you're tuning in from. It's always interesting to hear where we have viewers on a Sunday morning. Next game up is still part of this round robin, and it's Dan Lemessurier from America versus Andy Squire from England. So some good games coming up.
2 green.
He's trying to steer that. Often when you see a player trying to steer a bowl, they don't think it's on the right line. The line doesn't look too bad. It was just lacking weight.
But with a slight wobble again, and that
2
just
green.
rules it out.
We've certainly not seen that many bowls hang out on that hand. Well, we've just been handed the singles group ranking because, of course, some of these games have already been played
3 green.
on the bowler's bar. And yes, as I thought from the information I was given last night, Dan Lemesurier, who's playing up next, is actually currently in first spot. Geordie Lowe's in second spot, but he's only played one game. And he won his first game with 28 shots to 2 replies, so with a plus of 26. It's all to play for in this group at the moment. We'll try and get it updated for you as the games go on. Interesting game up next. I'm just looking because Andy Squires played one and his shot
3
difference
shots,
was
Geordie
12.
Lowe.
He won the first 19-7, so that game could be crucial the next game up.
Well, yeah, if Andy wins that,
Set
it
score 1-7
puts
after
him
4 ends.
around the same as Dan, but with a game in hand.
Geordie Lowe's just picked up another 3 out there on the rink, and that gives him a 7-1 shot difference in this, or rather shot score in this second set. 6 shot difference. He lost the first set though, so
Jack length
that won't
28
have
and a
helped
half
his
metres.
cause.
But he's only going to be half a point behind Dan if it stays at 1 set all for this.
It's quite crucial by the looks of
Yes.
the table that Dan Lemesurier wins his game, because Andy Squires still got a game in hand, and we'll try and keep you up to date with that as we go.
It's always good if the last games are actually meaningful as opposed to dead rubber.
Malcolm White's actually lost his previous 2 games, so he's lying bottom of the group at the moment. He's obviously just won the first set here, but it's quite crucial now that Geordie, for his chances, wins this second set as easily as possible.
One red.
Loose end again. They've had some close ends, but
Last ball's
One or
18
2
inches
loose
short of Jack
ends.
high.
Just a shade pace on this one. Geordie doesn't want to be dropping a count here because it's not going to help his shot difference. Of course, the other thing is, if Malcolm picks up a 3 here, he could well end up squaring the set. Well, there we go, Geordie. Yard for shot, I would say.
One green.
Think about this, Malcolm. It's a big boy. He's going to come and have a look at this, Francis, and I don't blame him, because at this stage of the game he's 6 shots behind. He'd like to get a win under his belt, really, in this round robin, and doesn't want to make a mess of this. I think if we were commentating on most players here, we would be saying there is the draw on the forehand. He has to just slip past his own short bowl. But that's what you've got confidence in playing, and there you go. Commentator's curse. He's going to play it off the backhand.
It's the decision that everybody makes. You're playing the same hand. That's just poor shot selection.
One shot, Geordie low.
But you either stick to the hand you're drawing on, because there are bowls in the way, but there are gaps there. Otherwise, you change. But I was thinking, if he was going to play that shot, in his mind, he must have figured out that if both red and green go, he would still be 1 shot.
Well, 2 ends to play. 8-1 to Geordie Low now. In this second set, he lost the first set 6-5, but don't forget this is a round robin system.
Jack length 28 metres.
Crucial game up next. We'll follow straight after this game. 2 trial ends and we'll be straight into the game. Well, just enough time to give Francis a chance to go and get changed. I think we've got a nice VT ready for you for the to show you a bit of what went on at the awards last night, and also a chance for me to get a cup of coffee.
Good lead off there from Malcolm. Good reply coming in.
One red.
Confident call there from Neil. Lets the players know exactly what the situation is. Ah, Geordie's running.
I think he was looking for the 1-2 there.
Yeah. So Malcolm now can't square this set. Sorry, he can't win the set, he can still square it.
The calculators in your head is working early on today, Francis?
That's it, I'm finished now.
that's enough for the day.
That's it. Don't do maths on a Sunday.
It's day of rest.
Really?
One red.
Probably back to a draw bowl. Looks a bit pacey though.
Yes, trying to play that difficult shot there, just reach and take a bowl out. And, the portable rink is very unforgiving for shots like that.
But safe in the knowledge that he can't now have the set squared because of Malcolm's back bowl. But that's a good bowl. That's a good count of 2.
2 shots, Malcolm White.
Well, Francis is going to leave
Set
us
score
now.
3-8
Thank you so
after
much for your
6 ends.
company, Francis. You need to hot foot it down to the rink, I believe.
Yes, get changed, get mic'd up, and on duty for the next game. Thanks very much. See you later. Bye now.
Thanks for your company, Francis. And we're going to this final end of this second set.
Jack length 28 metres.
Well, a good starter again from Malcolm. Certainly came onto a better game in this second half of the first set and second set. Geordie just resetting himself, a bit of chalk on that bowl and plenty of time here. No shot clock in operation, as Francis mentioned earlier, in these round robin stages. Just overplayed this one.
One green.
Good again here from Geordie. Just needs to sit on his own bowl. Off for 2.
2 green.
See, Malcolm just having a trundle at this, I think. Managed to get both away.
1 red.
Might even fancy this sort of shot
Shot balls
himself.
jack high. The third ball is your ball.
Might be worth having a reach to this for Geordie. Can't lose the set. He's in the area. Very good ball there from Geordie.
2 shots, second set, Geordie low, match tied.
Therefore that match is over. Just to confuse anybody that hasn't already tuned in, this is a round robin stage. The players have to play every end of both sets, and that was a great game there by Geordie. Gives himself a chance. And the order of play for the rest of the day here, coming up straight away, is the next game in this group. It's Dan Le Mesurier with playing against Andy Squire. Then this afternoon at 2 o'clock, Robert Paxson and Michael Stepney versus Mark Royal and Andy Thompson MBE. And the world number one takes to the stage Greg Harlow and Nick Brett versus the Australian qualifiers Dave Rankin and Kyle McElroy. Well, as we mentioned, it was the WBT Awards evening last night, and here are some of the comments from some of our winners.
My name's Dan Le Mesurier, and I've just won the Overseas Performance of the Year.
My name is Martin Dawes, and I've won the Players Player of the Year award.
My name is Greg Harlow, and I've just been inducted into the Hall of Fame.
I'm absolutely over the moon about winning the award today. I'd never expected to win the award. To get voted from your own peers is a fantastic award, and you kind of, that's the major one for all players.
I know all the great stars of the past that have been awarded this trophy, and now to have my name alongside theirs, very proud.
It's the best tournament of the year. It's the premier tournament, and getting to come here and compete against like these top players from around the world is a great privilege.
All the players love coming and obviously enjoying all that it has to offer. As a player and as a tournament, it's the event we all want to come to. It's the event we all want to win.
Right, folks, just take a short break while these players do their trial ends, and we'll be with you very shortly. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Just 2019 World Indoor Bowls Championships live here at Potter's Leisure Resort. And coming up next, we have an exciting game in the round robin stages. Dan Lemesurier versus Andy Squires. And for the rest of the day, don't forget to join us again at 2 o'clock for Robert Paxton and Michael Stepney versus Mark Royal and Andy Thompson MBE. And then the world number one, Greg Harlow and Nick Brett, play the Australian qualifiers, Dave Rankin and Cal McElroy. Our marker for this game is Dominic Simcoe, our umpire Francis Fletcher, and we hand over to Richard Baird to introduce our players.
Arena here at Potter's Resort, and our first player from Essex has as many national titles to his credit, a former England national outdoor singles champion. Ladies and gentlemen, will you please welcome Andrew Squire. All right, Andrew, enjoy. Have a good match. Enjoy. Good luck. And our next player was recently awarded the World Bowls Tour Overseas Qualifier of the Year. Ladies and gentlemen, the US reigning Southwest Open Pairs Champion from California. Give it up for Dan Lemesurier. And your commentators for this match is Mike McNaughton and Janice Gower. Good morning to you both.
Good morning, Richard, and thanks very much for that introduction. That was an interesting walk-on from our American Dan Lemesurier. He did a little bit of a hop, skip and a jump, kissed the carpet there. Of course, I'm joined in commentary by Mike McNaughton, who is Dan's pairs partner. He was looking forward to this, Mike, wasn't he? He was really looking forward to playing this game. He's had a few practices out there. Were there any nerves when you spoke to him before?
No, I think he's feeling good about it. Yeah, he likes to have
Jack
a little
line
bit of fun,
24.5 metres.
Starting off with the shortest jack here. We play 2 sets of 7 ends. There is no tie break. This is all part of a round robin. And if you were with me for the first game, you will know that Dan, the American qualifier, is top of the table at the moment. But Andy Squires, this is only his second game. This is Dan's third. And great opener there from Andy Squire. Very experienced player, Andy. Came through the WIBC qualifying system.
It's half an inch short of Jack High. The gap is about half an inch as well.
WIBC gets invited into these qualifying stages. And the winner was Stuart Anderson, so of course he's already in the main draw. So the offer goes then to the runner-up, which was Andy Squire. It's won lots of
18 inches short, Jack High.
National singles winner at the EBA back in 2007. EIBA National Triples winner in 2012. Runner up in the Champion of Champions. Certainly very, very quality player. Plays a lot of bowls, does Andy. The man in red. Dan's from California. He featured in the Scottish International Open back in November. I want to say he played Nick Brett, but Dan would say himself he went out on the rink and was battered by Nick Brett, and those are Dan's words. But what he did feel that gave him was it gave him the experience of being out on the portable
18
rink.
inches.
The other thing, Dan last night won the Overseas Qualifier of the Year at the awards. It was a lovely awards night.
It was quite lovely.
He was a bit shocked, to say the least,
He
wasn't
was.
he?
Yes.
I watched his face when the nominees' pictures came up on the wall, and I think he was like, "Oh yeah, I'm one of the nominees. I'm quite happy with that." And then when he read his name out, it was like, "Woo!"
Yeah, just a little under here.
Very deliberate delivery, Andy Squire, very similar to Andy Thompson. Well, Mike, what do you think? Dan's going to go again here, or?
It's hard to tell with Dan because he'll have a go and then he'll just decide to draw it. I think he'll probably have another go, but
Well, he's down the backhand here, so reaching bowl required. This will start to go very quickly.
Yeah, just a little under again, I think.
One shot, Andy Squire.
I know a lot of our viewers would like to know how the qualifications go in America to get over here. So it's as tough as over here, isn't it? You have to play several rounds to get through.
Yes, you get that. We played about I think 4 rounds for pairs. I think it was about 5 for the singles, all in one day. It's quite tough.
And then, of course, you've got to get the time off work and the flights.
Of course,
and
yes. Yeah.
I was mentioning to the viewers in the previous game, which is something quite interesting, is you actually chose to fly your own bowls over rather than use the pool bowls. So was there a specific reason for that?
It was more
Mike?
just so we had our own set to practice with before the pool bowls showed up. And there was something comfortable about playing with your own set. So Dan brought 2 sets, I brought my greens. I did use the pool bowls for most of our games because we were playing red.
Well, Andy failed to set a length with
Jack length 28 metres.
his delivery of the jack, so the choice of length goes to Dan. Chance for Dan now. Bit of a loose opening bowl there from Andy. Don't forget, if you've got any questions, do put them to us and our production team will let us know if you've got any queries about overseas qualification. Mike's with me here. I'm sure he'll be able to answer those questions. And if we can't find the answer to the question from our 2 brains in here, we'll find somebody else that does know.
Bit of a loose end here.
All on his pace. Slightly under the line.
Sorry, your last bowl? Yes. 1 green. 2 feet.
Still 2 feet of room to draw. No shot clock here in these round robin stages, so most players will go up to the head to have a look after the third bowl, which is part of the ruling. Nice view in the crowd this morning for these round robin stages. It's the first time in a number of years we've played matches on the Sunday morning after the World Bowls Tour Awards. Now I spoke to
Nice ball here.
Dan last night and he said even though he won an award he didn't want to risk having any alcohol before he played this morning, so couldn't celebrate.
No, he's been well behaved and just make sure he's well rested for the matches.
Well, this is on a very good height. What's the wake like? Can it sit to save?
2 shots, Andy Squire.
Set score 0-3 after 2 ends.
One of our trainees there, Dominic Simcoe. It's the marker for today's game. Umpires Francis Fletcher, one of our experienced World Bowls Tour umpires, and the third official out there for this game is Bernie Hill, who's another one of our trainee officials. Very proud of the officials team here at the World Bowls Tour.
They're all great. They're all great. Bernie actually
Jack length 26 metres.
looked after our pairs game. Quite nice. She didn't have to do a whole lot of measuring, but
No, she's a good official, is Bernie. They're all good markers and umpires in their own right, but the World Bowls Tour is a different beast altogether to be out there officiating. It's such a slick team. It's all about teamwork and working together. Some make it, some don't. And some just go out on the rink there and think, oh, I don't want to be out here, there's too many people about watching me. So it works both ways. All three of the trialists I have spoken to since the first games, and they're very much enjoying the experience. Dominic, who's out there marking, he said just to have had the experience was exceptional. You know, obviously he's hoping that he's done enough to make the grade, but he said to me last night, even if he doesn't make the grade, he's thoroughly enjoyed the experience and the honour to have been invited to trial, which was lovely to hear. He was quite emotional about it actually, so
can't imagine the pressure they're under. It's tough enough being a player.
1 red.
yeah, there's a capacity crowd here of over 2,000, and then we have more than that watching
About
on the
11
streams
inches.
or on the TV.
Yeah, half an inch past.
So when you go out there to make a call or do a measure, there's always thousands of critics going, oh no, he's called that wrong or he's done that wrong. So you have to be very confident in what they do as the bread and butter umpiring and marking job, and then there's all the added bits.
Nice one here.
Oh, good ball there.
2 red.
So the three of them are here till Wednesday, and then they'll find out in dispatches how well they've done. We don't have any input into that. Obviously that's down to the officials team, but I do know the senior officials do like to come and replay some of the YouTube videos to see about shots called, and
Yes.
but the three guys out there know that's happening, so we have a bit of a ribbon with them because one of the trainee umpires actually was involved with one of the comedians, came off stage last night to pick on somebody, and it was one of our trainee umpires that got picked on, and we said to him afterwards that wasn't part of the test of being a World Bowls Tour umpire.
Yes.
He was very embarrassed. Andy just looking to the draw now, I think, Mike. He's...
Yep, Dan covered the back, so... just a little overplayed.
There's a chance here to tie up this first set.
Just move off the centre, wasn't it?
It's close.
Needs to just run, just urging it up.
Two shots, Dan Le Mesurier. Set score,
I suppose that's a
2-3
trial
after
for some of
3
these
ends.
trialists as well. The pronunciation of some of the overseas players' names. I think Dominic did a very good job there. It's I did go up to Dan when he first qualified and I said, "How do you like your name pronounced?" And he just gave me a grin and said, "Yes, it's a tough one for most
Yes,
people."
yes. He loves to say it and watch the look on people's face when they're trying to spell it.
Jack length 26.5 metres.
Yes, I know when our streaming production team was saying to me the change in name, because obviously American's actual singles qualifier couldn't make it, Charlie Herbert. He sadly taken ill, so therefore the right goes to the runner-up in the event, and it just so happened that that was Dan, and he was here playing the pairs, so he stepped into the role. But our production team said, "Can you spell that name for me?" And I just said, "You better speak to the tournament office."
Yes, yeah.
Great opener there from Dan.
I think they're both settling in now.
Good reply
Yeah,
from
good,
Andy.
yeah.
One green. You went 7.5 inches past Jack High. About 6.5.
Good track again. Might have just overreached this. Just over. Not a bad place though. And he needs to be a little bit careful here now because Dan's bowls are behind. After the previous game that's just been on, which was Malcolm White versus Geordie Lowe, been handed the up-to-date tables, so Dan's still in top spot. Geordie Lowe in second and Andy Squire in third, but Andy Squire has only played one game at the moment, which he won. He plays again tonight out on the portable rink after the two main pairs games this afternoon. So it's all fairly tight, that it's,
Nice one here.
2 or 3 that could win this group at the moment.
Oh, Dan will be happy with that.
Great bowl from Dan.
One red. One red.
He might have done enough, just a wiggle on the green to make it 2. It's quite quite interesting on carpet. Sometimes if you just touch a bowl, it'll just slide across the carpet.
Yeah, we were watching a match the other night and making comments on how quickly the jack skates across the carpet there.
It's not easy for Dan to get back in there now because you've got to try and find that gap. And with the carpet playing as quick as it's playing, Francis Fletcher said earlier today it's running still about 18.5 seconds. If you try and play through a gap like that, it's likely to swing tight under. Certainly watching it.
Yeah, it looks like it. It might hold, but
Now needs to start bending. Doesn't want to turn the green ball in. No, it didn't turn the green ball in, so no worse, but he was actually looking for a touch of the jack, really. Tough shot that to play. Have you had a roll out on the portable? It's quite quick.
yeah, we did the day it was laid. It was running around 20 seconds. It's the quickest I've played. Dan said it's settled down a bit now. Top shot here for Andy.
One out of measure.
He's looking for two. Does right at this stage in these round robins. Every shot counts. Francis Fletcher being called in to measure this. One's been declared. All the other bowls are removed by the marker, Dominic. And this is where you see an unusual stance for an umpire. Francis Fletcher is known for crosses his ankles, the back of his legs when he kneels down. He feels it gives him a very, very stable stance to measure. It's the only umpire I've ever seen do that, but it's kind of his trademark.
One shot, Dan Lemizurier.
3-all. 3
Set
ends to
score
play.
3-3 after 4 ends.
Good game now between these two. Dan's family probably tuning in at home in California. Do let us know if you're tuning in. We do like to
Jack
know
length
where
27 metres.
we have people watching us. Favourite
1
food
metre.
of Dan's is a roast chicken dinner. Oh, interestingly enough, the favourite food of Andy Squires is a Sunday roast, so they would probably get on all right together.
Yeah, they
It's
would.
Sunday roast dinner, marvellous.
Marvelous, yeah.
Andy plays out of the Falcon Club in Essex. Has an interesting hobby. Meteorology. I'd have two goes at saying that, and I have had
Yeah.
a cup of coffee. You don't. Very interesting. Studies stars.
About 20 inches short of Jack High.
Probably going to force him to swap.
Yeah, he didn't like that.
When we spoke last night, he said he didn't want to mess up his chance playing so well so far, given the opportunity to play in the event.
One green. 2.5 feet past jack high.
Well, looks on a decent line here. In the area.
Oh yeah, real nice. He'll be happy with that.
Great ball.
One red. Three inches short of jack high. Sorry, 3 inches past jack high.
Again, down a very good track here. All on his pace. Just lacking, I think. Now, what can Dan do with this bowl?
Be trying to draw another here. Saw his face before he delivered. He seems to be having fun out there.
That's part of the thing, isn't it, really?
It really
He's
is.
enjoying it out there.
I'll give him credit for the pairs. He made sure we were having a good time regardless of the score. Lovely ball here.
Might force Andy to be a little bit more aggressive. The only danger he's got, really, is that all the balls at the back are Dan's as well. I think a little bit of a backhand timer here. Well,
It's not far off.
he's certainly following it.
Oh, good result.
Looks like he's got 2 out of it. Two up to 2 down in one bowl. Dan will
2
know
shots,
that.
Andy Squire.
2 ends left to play. Don't forget we have to play all the ends in
Set
this
score 3-5
round
after
robin
5
stages of the overseas singles playoffs.
Andy seems to prefer the short jacks.
Jack length 24.5 meters.
Good opener.
Yep, nice start.
Don't forget, let us know where you're tuning in from and if you've got any questions.
About
do
6
fire
inches past
away.
jack high.
It's a nice swingy hand, is this forehand, so as long as it gets it out on a line, it looks a little bit on the tight line to me, but as you mentioned before, Mike, the players are saying it has slowed down a little bit, but you just watch this bowl now swoop under. Got a little bit of a feather. I think Dan kind of felt that this was a must-win game for him. Spoke to Andy about it as well. I mean, Andy was quite confident, but I think Dan knew he needed to win this game. He felt that Andy was probably the strongest player in the group.
3.5 inches.
To Geordie Lowe in the interval, he was really disappointed he didn't win both sets to give himself a chance.
In these qualifying rounds, it's quite. You feel like you give up a set. You feel like you've given up the shot at going through.
Yes, I can understand that. You just want to really win every set, and then if you win every set in every game,
It's 20 inches past Jack High.
Much easier said than done.
it is. It's easy. We don't play any bad
Favourite
bowls
front
up
red.
here, Mike.
No, we
this is
don't.
the place that we
Yeah.
play really good bowls.
Haven't played a bad bowl all day. I think Andy will just be drawing another just behind.
Very tight line with this one. Played a little bit of weight to try and reach the back green bowl.
Oh, just unlucky there.
Two green.
I thought when he let it go it was on a tighter line, but just held off at the end. Very close though. You're not playing football out there, Dan.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking. Oh, close one here.
Great bowl there. Let's see Dan just trying to reach into this now.
I think we
Try and
might.
get
Three green.
few aways, got best back as well. As I said before, don't misjudge Andy Squire. He's a very, very consistent player on the England circuit.
It looks like Dan's warming up.
Playing it off the backhand, needs to go quick.
Oh, not far off.
Close.
Oh,
Might have got away with that. I'm not sure whether it's gone up the green slightly or not. Our camera angle can be deceiving.
One shot. Down the Mesurier.
Yeah, oh, got
there we
the
go.
shot. That was good.
Set score 4-5 after 6 ends.
And gives himself a chance now. It's a good result that. It's quite surprising the Jack didn't move back. It moved that touch forward, but fortunately Dan had a bowl there. Now he needs to try and select a length that he's confident enough to draw in, and he's certainly got onto his drawing line very quickly.
Jack length 26.5 metres.
6.5 metre jack here. All about your delivery of your opening ball, really, Dan. Well, this is where he needs you, Mike, to lead for him.
Yeah, well.
Different game is
It
singles.
is, yeah.
It's a far lonelier game. I know this afternoon we've got 2 cracking pairs games coming up for you in the World Indoor Bowls Pairs Championships, and the players are mic'd up, so you get to hear a little bit of banter about what shots they're thinking of playing, and it's a little bit more interactive, and the crowd do like that. When you're in singles, you're out there on your own. There's nobody to have some banter with, apart from the marker, of course, but it's all very serious. Dan needs to draw a shot with this.
Yours was 22 inches short of jack high.
That's some great news just come through from our director. We've got Wendy tuning in, who's really enjoying the coverage. Glad you can join us, Wendy. It's good to be able to bring every bowl played for you out on the portable rink here on our World Bowls Tour streaming. Our director has just mentioned that you did used to play bowls, Wendy, but currently waiting for a bowls wheelchair to arrive so that you can start bowling again. Well, as you probably heard from last night's award ceremony,
Inch and a half.
a lot of events for disabled
This green.
bowlers. And
About
it is
now
a sport
23 inches.
that anybody can play, any age, any ability, any disability. So it's good to hear, Wendy, that you're looking forward to get back playing again. And please look out for any events that we have coming up. Join the PBA. We have a few wheelchair players in the PBA. And give us a shout if you need anything.
Two green.
Well, 2 green. Andy just needs to make sure that Dan hasn't got a position here to score a 2. It's a tough shot for Dan whatever, because he's got to try and change something, got to reach the jack. Yeah, just going for the covering ball. I don't think that's a bad idea from Andy's point of view. Dan's only option to try and get the 2 shots is behind, and now that ball of Andy's has made it very tough for Dan. Got to play a perfect weighted bowl now. Just a little wry look up to the commentary box there from Dan. Now this is a reaching draw. Needs to trail the jack for 2 shots.
Just overplayed a little wide.
Normally the set would be declared at this point, but as every shot counts, Andy Squire's got the opportunity to slot another shot in here. Looks like he's here again. 3 shots to Andy Squires, finishes off the first set.
3 shots, Andy Squire.
We now move into set 2.
And the first set.
An inquiry about TV coverage. Of course, we're with you live on the streaming for every bowl played out on the portable rink for all the 2.5 weeks that bowls is played here at the Just 2019 World Indoor Bowls Championships. And we're live in full HD with commentary, and as you see, we've now added VT clips and great roundups and the likes, and we're live here at Potter's Leisure Resort for the entirety of that time. The question that's come in about terrestrial TV. The BBC do
Jackline,
come
28 and a
in to
half
cover
metres.
the last week of bowls. They start on Monday the 21st with games on in the afternoon and red button coverage, I believe, for the morning matches. But every match is covered here on the streaming, so stick with us if you can. Even when the BBC come in, it's still available all on the streaming and YouTube live.
Looks to be a nice one here.
Very smooth delivery, Dan. Just pulled up short. The line wasn't bad for what he wanted. It's a little tuck on the jack. I would
2.5
think
inches
this is
short
a
of
really
jack high.
must-win set for Dan now
Yes,
to give
yes,
himself
it
a
is.
chance in the
2 feet
round
short
robin
of jack high.
stages, and then hope that Andy drops a game somewhere. Andy does play Geordie Low tonight at 7:30. We're with you for that as well. Don't have to put a posh frock on for tonight, unlike last night. Could be nicely
One
here
green.
in the lovely warm commentary box with you wonderful viewers out there. It's a good line here from Dan again. Just might have just run through.
One green.
Had a question on qualification. Anybody anywhere in the world can go online, find out where your local PBA branch is. That's Professional Bowls Association branch. Pay your entry fee to that membership and then entry fee to the events, and try and qualify. We have qualifiers from all over the world. As you see here, Dan's from the USA. We had Canada and Hong Kong on earlier.
Yes.
And we also have
18 inches past jack high.
qualifiers from somebody who's spoken to our director about South Africa, and of course South Africa have qualifiers here. Unfortunately, the South African pair that were due to arrive to play in the pairs playoffs had a bit of an issue with their visas, so couldn't make it. But yes, South Africa is one of the countries that's involved here, so they have a PBA branch to get involved.
Welcome the ball here by Dan. Looks like yeah,
2 red.
yeah, made it too.
We had a little smile up there to the commentary box when Dan played that bowl. He obviously knew his mate was sat up here. A good line.
Just looks like this might be a tad short.
2 shots. Dan Lemazurier.
Took the opening end there, Dan. With this second set, I'm getting some lovely comments coming in. I will just thank everybody. It's very humbling last night. I received the World Bowls Tour Services to Bowls award for the work that I do with disabled players, and in particular at the moment a lot of work with learning difficulties and disabilities. Done quite a bit of work with the Special Olympics of trying to get bowls as one of the key sports involved,
28
because it
metres.
truly is a sport for all. And I will just give a shout out to Ross. Thank you so much, Ross. Yeah, we'll keep trying to bring as many events as we possibly can. I work very closely now with one of our match officials here at the WBT, Dan Blewett, and the Deputy Tournament Director here, Tom Weir, and the three of us are trying to push forward as much as we possibly can bowls events for learning difficulties. Also work with Keith and Louise Dewey, who are our operations and venue managers, and it's a great team we've got, and we're really trying to put on as many events as we can and as often as we can, because we are aware that the facility for, in particular, learning disabilities athletes to play is limited, and we're doing our best for that. But I do thank everybody out there. It was very humbling, as Mike would tell you next to me. I was totally shocked.
Yes, you were.
And shaking.
Oh.
Oh dear, I don't know if that's good news or bad news off my director. He's just told me he's actually got the reaction to me winning the award as part of a VT for this streaming. So obviously that's a point in time to turn off your streaming viewers.
Nice ball there by Dan.
No, it's always a nice
3.5 inches past Jack High.
My fellow club mate Mark Dawes got Player of the Year last night at the awards, and we both said to receive an award off your peers means so much. I often think a lot of people don't know all the work that goes on behind the scenes. I know even some people that know me very well didn't know the amount of work I've done in the past for disabled sport, but an audience of 3,000 plus got to know last night, Mike.
Yeah, it's a lot of work for all these events, and even being here, players we don't all get to see how much effort is put in for these events and for other events. It's nice to see awards given to acknowledge that effort.
2 red.
Well, Dan's certainly found a nice end here. As I mentioned before, Dan got the award for overseas qualifier. He's qualified in the Scottish International Open, qualified here in the World Pairs last year, qualified again this year. Andy's close here, urging it on.
1 red. $11 inches short of Jack High. At 15 inches past Jack High.
This looks to be on a good track. Just underplayed it.
Yeah, we've had a follow-up comment from Wendy, the lady that's waiting for a disabled wheelchair. Wendy, I believe you're from the Stockport area. Well, that would mean that my home club is probably your closest club, and Blackpool Newton Hall openly welcome wheelchair players, and do come on down. If you mention that you've had some contact with me, to the manager down there, Jonathan Goodall, I'm sure he'll ably assist you in the first steps to enjoying bowls from a wheelchair, and if you let him know, he'll be in contact with me, and I'm sure we could meet up. But, very good to hear. Like I say, truly believe that bowls is a sport that anybody
1
can
shot.
play.
Dan Le Mesurier.
Now I have several contacts all
Set
over
score
the
3-0 after 2 ends.
the world. You never know, we might be able to get it into the International Special Olympic Games, which is something that we want to really do. The next International Games is in Abu Dhabi, and although Dan Blewett and I were very, very keen to get on a plane and go to Abu Dhabi, there are no indoor bowling surfaces out there. So never know, in 4 years' time that
Jack
might
length
go
29
to
metres.
America or Canada, and we might have the opportunity to run an event there.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I'm sure I could call on some of my friends sat next to me to come and support that event
Oh
if we
yes,
could.
definitely, of course.
It's all about getting knowledge out there, though, in a lot of these cases, and probably a lot of people seen these hashtags about inclusion revolution, trying to include everybody in indoor bowls, and that's what it's all part of, try and get everybody involved. That's part of the reason that we do the streaming. It gets all the bowls shown to everybody all over the world, and in the old days of 6-7 years ago, the only point in time you would have seen any of the bowls here from the World Championships was once terrestrial TV took over the final week. So you wouldn't have had the opportunity to watch the likes of Dan out there unless he got through to the final stages. So now we can see every bowl played out there, and that is a good bowl from Dan.
There we go. It's the streaming, being able to watch it after the match as well. Call it up later. It's good for the players to review their game. It's nice for family back home. I mean, Dan's family will be sound asleep at this hour.
Go on then. Tell me what hour it will be over there.
Oh, I think it's about 4 in the morning.
4 in the morning.
1 red.
Mind you, some of our players were still partying at 4 o'clock this morning. Anybody is out there listening and tuning in, do let us know where you're tuning in from. It's always good to hear. I don't think we'll have many in California tuning in if it's 4 o'clock in the morning, but you never know.
There might be a few in the east coast of Canada.
It's definitely different time zones, of course. Oh, we're very proud of the streaming service we bring.
1 red.
And we try and keep making
Sorry, last bowl.
slight alterations
Oh, your
and
last bowl.
improvements all the time.
2 feet short of Jack Eye.
We now have a lot more information on you, try and produce a programme as such for each stream. And the production company that we're working with now have got some great ideas for moving forward, for doing players' interviews. And as you've seen, we've already brought these VTs into play. I'm not so sure about any VT that includes me, but the ones that I've seen so far in opening sequences, we've certainly
2 red.
upped the game as far as the streaming coverage goes, and we'll keep trying to make improvements for you. That's what we want to do. Well, Andy, 2 shots at the moment to Dan. It's a bit of a tough runner here, really, Mike. There's no angle for him, because I think if he plays it down the forehand, he could split both his bowls out the head.
Yeah.
It's almost like just a reaching draw off
Yeah,
the
I think
backhand.
he might want to reach Dan's back bowl there. Fall onto the jack. Not an easy shot.
No, certainly not out there on this rink. It's quite an important end here for both players.
looks like he's getting the forehand runner.
Yeah, to play it. I think the danger here is splitting his own 2 balls out the head.
Nope. He might not have felt
2 shots. Dan Lemazurier.
he could handle the backhand finesse there. It's quite tough on this surface.
Oh, you've got to be
Set score,
perfect,
5-0
perfect line and
after 3
perfect
ends.
weight, and it's quite as simple as that. The quicker the surface, the more accurate you have to be. So nice in view at the back there. You can see the wonderful Langham Glass Trophy that whoever wins the Open Singles a fortnight today will pick up.
It's quite nice. I don't have a shot at winning it, but I did get to hang on to it for a bit.
Encourage you to try and qualify
Jack
next
28
year.
metres.
Oh, I will be. I'll have to get through Dan again. Or, well, try to get through him. Him and I matched up in the semis, and he took me out with his last ball.
We've got viewers at the moment, Mike, out in Canada. Did mention that there might be various in Canada due to the different time areas over there. Belgium is an interesting one. Shout out to all those that are viewing in Belgium. It's a new one to the list, I think. And Cyprus. Well, we have a lot of expats that live out in Cyprus, so thank you all for joining us. Don't forget, we do start again this afternoon at 2 o'clock, where we've got 2 more of the games in the world pairs for you. Robert Paxton and Michael Stepney, a new pairing, paired up because Michael Stepney's coming to the top 16 for the first time.
11
They
inches
play
past
Mark
Jack High.
Royal and Andy Thompson. And then the game after, Greg Harlow and Nick Brett versus the Australian qualifiers, Dave Rankin and Kyle McElroy. So do stay with us if you can. Having just flicked through my list of viewers, that is a
One
new
green.
one to our list, Belgium. That's why we like to hear where you're viewing in from, because we do like to keep a list. It's the sponsors often ask whereabouts people are viewing in from. And we like to keep our sponsors happy. And to that end, if you are around Potters and you are on site, just to have a stand just outside the arena.
Yes.
And go and have a bob to that. They've got some free stickers and bags and an interactive quiz, which I think if you look at any of their social media, I think I had a go at that this morning.
Oh yes, there's a couple players on the leaderboard. Oh,
2 green.
Nice ball here.
Always good to give some support back. He's urging it to move. It's just not moved.
2 green.
As you know, we're interactive and you can contact us here on the streaming, and that's always good because we can give shout outs and answers to any questions you've gotten. We've had a Philip tune in, Mike, who's just started playing at 71.
Oh wow.
So that's great to hear. It's a great sport, though. It's not just a sport for, you know, the highly competitive athletes at this level, at the World Bowls level, but it's a good social sport. Get down to your club and playing the leagues and the friendlies, and great sport to be involved with.
It really is. It's a sport for everyone. I've been in a game where there was the youngest and oldest. The age difference was about 7 years between them. 70.
Wow.
It's quite nice to be able to see such a wide range of players.
I do know the claim to fame for bowls at the Glasgow Commonwealth Games was it had the youngest medalist and the oldest medalist as part of the bowls.
Two shots, Andy Squire.
So 5-2.
Set score 5-2 after 4 ends.
3 ends to play. At the moment out in the terrace bar, there's a question and answer session going on with head official Alan Thornhill, if he's recovered from his celebrations of his 20 years achievement award he got yesterday evening. But
Jack made 23 and a half
that's
metres.
the joy of this facility here at Potter's Leisure Resort. Not only is it the best place that I've ever played bowls, especially if you enjoy playing with an audience, but members of the public that do book to come down for breaks, they get to meet some of the players, they get to ask questions.
Yeah, Dan and I actually had quite a few questions while we were playing the pairs, even just practicing.
Yeah, it's good to see the interest, and I still think, you know, a lot of the spectators here, they do come down for the early part of the event because they like to see the overseas players here, find out a bit about you and how you got here and that sort of thing.
Yeah, we're all happy to chat and help spread anything we can for bowls.
That is the joy of Potters. You get to mingle and socialise and answer questions, and sometimes you have to try and hurry answers up to get back to commentary positions, as happened between those 2 games for me. Nipped out for a comfort break and had 4 or 5 questions thrown at me, but it's always good to get questions because it means that people are interested and have got views or feedback that they want to give us.
Dan doesn't look too pleased with this.
I think he's on
urging
the
it.
high side. Just asking who's second here.
Yes, I favour it.
Oh, Dan will be pleased with this one.
Oh, this is a good bowl. If it sits,
Critical end here for
gonna
Dan.
go, yep. And he's having a look at it. I'm not sure whether it's made shot or not. Just asking Dominic to...
I favour yours.
Dominic says he favours green.
just high line.
Dan's got a very similar ball to his last. If he rests his own or gets a touch on the jack in particular, you don't really want to be playing for that touching the jack on this surface at the moment, but something similar to his last, rest off his own bowl, little nip on the jack, all good for the American. Seems funny saying for the American because his actual heritage was Welsh, wasn't
Yes,
he?
yes. A tighter line.
Well, he's played a bit more aggressively at this. Just think these are hard shots to
yeah.
play because they hang about.
Yeah, that touch extra. Touch extra weight and it holds the line a little longer.
Yeah, I think
Clear these out.
I think that was more the question of just the draw and hope that you touch the jack really.
Switch your feet, sorry.
There you go, Francis Fletcher again with his trademark crossing his ankles. If he's doing a caliper measure.
Important measure here for the set.
It is at this stage. You've got young eyes, you can probably read that scoreboard at the far end of the rink, can't you?
Yeah,
I've got to rely on my card here.
Yeah, I can just make it out.
I joked with my my director I was going to bring in a
One
pair
shot,
of
Andy
opera
Squire.
glasses so I could see them. One shot to Andy Squire. That makes a crucial difference to
score,
this
5-3.
set.
Yes, it does.
After 5 ends.
2 ends left to play.
Jack length 24.5 metres.
Definitely preferring this shorter length jack, Andy Squire. As you mentioned before, he's stuck to that length if he's got the jack.
I wonder if he finds it easier to control the swinging. When I was out there, I found my aces were drawing much more like classics.
It's very hard to judge what to play with at the moment. The first set that I took out there was my XPs and play for Drake's Pride, and they were coming back at right angles, literally.
Yes, yeah, that's what my aces were doing. Dan's playing with aces. He seems to be able to handle it. He almost tripped over his own balls there. Nice ball here from Andy. Just a little overplayed.
20 inches past jack high.
Just giving a little bit of a talking to himself there. We often say have a word with yourself in the office.
Yeah.
The office that's your head.
It's not just the surface you have to get used to, it's the environment. As you said, there's enough seating for 2,000, you said?
Its capacity, I think, is just over 2,000. And the seating stands at the back, so I suppose in theory you could probably get about 3,000 in here.
Mm-hmm.
One red.
Had a viewer in ask about no shot clock at the event at the moment. It's not played in the round robin events, just like it wouldn't be played at the PBA qualifiers wherever you go to in the world. You don't play under a shot clock until you actually get into the main event, and these guys are playing for a place in the main event.
Two green.
Wins this round robin would play against Nick Brett next Wednesday.
2 inches. 20 inches.
Gets past his front one. It's a good line here.
Just needs to slip past it. Got a chance.
Oh,
1 shot, Andy Squire.
Set score 5-4 after 6 ends.
Quite a crucial final end here now in this game.
oh yes.
As I mentioned before, it's all about scoring as many shots as you can, trying to win both sets in a game. Possible to tie a set. Dan was top of the table. Andy Squire Lane in 3rd position, but he'd only played 1 game. So this is the last end, end 7.
Jack length 24.5 metres.
Four inches.
Well, apparently, from the production team, they've said we've had a few people discussing the overhead camera shot that the BBC use. They bring in multi-million-pound jobby thingies that are called jibs that fit at either end of the rink, and we can get a full overhead with the rings appear. Great bowl there from
Great
Dan,
ball.
just at the time he needed it.
Yeah, he'll be happy with that.
We are trying to improve our streaming all the time, but anything's possible, and we will look into that in the future for you. But if you look back to the old days where any streaming that was brought to you was just brought to you by 1 camera, or sometimes 2 cameras, we're now a lot more experience in our production company that we've gone to be
One red.
involved, and it's working well as a team. So any suggestions, great, but that's why at the moment you'll have to wait
It's
for
just fallen.
the BBC with their
He's about
jibs
6
for that
inches
shot.
short of Jack high.
And anybody out there wanting to come forward and fund us
Oh yes.
purchasing 2 jibs, we
Yeah.
wouldn't say no to. Would we, my
No, not
director
at all.
out there, if he's hearing me? So last end in play. Dan's 5-4 up,
No, there's a gap of about an inch.
holding 1 shot.
He didn't like his last bowl there.
One red.
It's not a good line here.
It's close again.
Yeah, it's real close.
Oh,
Urging it.
big bowl that, Dan. Big bowl.
2 red.
Well, an important bowl here for Andy Squire. Could be crucial in this round robin draw. Dan Le Mesurier is leading that at the moment, and he's urging this to move. I think he's a bowl to wide.
Yep, just a tad over.
Oh, Dan's got the opportunity here of slotting in another bowl. Well, it's been a cracking game, really, and
It has been.
I do thank you for your company, Mike. It's always good to hear the overseas accents within this commentary
Yes, yes.
position.
I've had a few comments on mine. I think Dan will be disappointed I didn't give him a little more of a couple jibs and jabs, jabs here.
I do hope you enjoy the rest of the event here.
Oh, bit of a high line.
Game over. Well, like I say, it was a very exciting game there. 2 shots possible measure.
Dan's looking up at the
Dan's
commentary
just having a
box.
look at the way he's
3 shots
shaking
in the
his
second
hands
set.
there.
Dan Le
3
Mesurier,
shots there.
tied game.
So
Thank you. Thanks, gents.
that's set to Dan. Don't forget, coming up again here today at 2 o'clock, we
So there
start
are,
again
another tied set
with
match
Robert
there.
Paxson
Again,
and
like I
Michael
say,
Stepney versus Mark Royal and Andy Thompson. And then Greg Harlow and Nick Brett versus Dave Rankin and Carl McElroy. And we have another couple of the singles qualifiers tonight. Well, we had the WBT Awards evening last night, and we managed to catch up with some of our winners. Enjoy this VT and join me again at 2 o'clock.
My name is Alec Marshall and I have just won the Lifetime Achievement Award.
Janice Gower and Services to Bowls.
My name is David Gourley, I'm from Scotland and it's Player of the Year.
Oh, it's just a great honour, to win any award is fantastic, but to win the most special award of the night, the Lifetime Achievement Award means just so much to me.
Totally shocked to win this award today. I wasn't expecting it. The work that I've done over all the years with the disabled to try and get them to bowl, to be able to bowl, just amazing, really.
Yeah, look, it's amazing. There's so much talent in this top 16, and to get Player of the Year is just fantastic. It's a great feeling.
There's no other venue in the world that's like it. It's like playing in a cauldron with people around you, and the atmosphere is absolutely fantastic.
It's great camaraderie between everybody, between the staff and the players and everybody else, and it's just great to be part of it.